On today's episode of Talking on the Tracks, Louie and I talk about our worst jobs. I cry in the freezer, and Louie destroys a mailbox while attempting to parallel park. All that and more on this episode of Talking on the Tracks. I'm actually going to be using a new intro song from my old band. You won't be able to hear it now, but right now it'll be playing so the people can hear it. But when I put it all together, the reason why is I started uploading on YouTube, and if I want to go to Spotify and Apple Podcasts, I can't use...
For copyright?
Yeah, copyright songs. So it's actually going to be songs from my old punk band in high school.
So you'll get the royalties for that.
Yeah, at least 1/3 of the royalties. This was a 3-person band.
Nice. Has the show started?
Yeah, it started. Let me officially start it. Ladies and gentlemen,
It's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Wednesday, May the 5th, 2021. Welcome to episode 26 of Talking on the Tracks. I'm your host today, Big Al, here today with my co-host.
Louie.
Not Sweet Lou?
Sweet Louie.
Okay, whatever.
It's Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Drinko. Yesterday was May the 4th. Like Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you.
I don't feel festive at all about Cinco de Mayo.
I honestly don't either.
What's happening?
I don't know. Maybe it's just because we live in Paso Robles now, so there's we're not around how it was back home, where there's a big deal. There's piñatas everywhere, and I definitely don't feel festive either. We drank some Danny Trejo beer, which is pretty nice.
Drank a Mexican lager.
Mm-hmm. So that's as close. No fireworks though tonight. Definitely no piñatas.
Yeah, I wonder how it's gonna be at work. I don't think it's gonna be any different.
I'm actually off today. Crazy because normally I'd be working, but since this Sunday's Mother's Day.
Yeah, I'm working too.
You know something though? Okay, so Mother's Day is one of those days where people who typically don't go out to eat, go out to eat.
It's the worst day to do that. Mother's Day and Valentine's Day is the worst.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mother's Day and Valentine's Day are restaurants' least favorite days. You're super, super busy, but again, those are the days that people who normally don't go out to places to eat, they normally go out on those kind of days, and it's you get a very mixed bag of guests that come in and just kind of the way that they order things, and they're not really used to the way things are.
Man, we could have a whole episode of just pet peeves of working in the restaurants.
Everybody can agree the least favorite thing about working at any restaurant is hot tea. Whenever somebody orders a hot tea, I'm just oh no. This is gonna be a solid 3 or 4 minutes that I'm setting aside my time. Solid 3 or 4 minutes that I'm setting time aside to, prepare this beverage for this person.
Hot tea is not fun. For me, it's stuff like when I go up to a table and I'm like, hey, how's everyone doing? They look at me and go, Coke. I know you didn't come here to talk to me.
Yeah.
But it's still do a little, small talk before we get to it.
Yeah.
You can take this, and just hands me their empty glass. Can I?
Wow. I used to get this a lot when I worked at Applebees. I would have 3 or 4 drinks on a tray, and I'd drop my first drink, and then the person's like, do you have straws? And they can clearly see there's straws in my apron, but I also can clearly see that my hands are full. And he said, chill. I brought straws.
Right. Yeah, you can always tell someone who's never worked in a restaurant too.
Yeah. Do you remember your first day of working in a restaurant, like outside of training?
Do you 100%. Yeah, I was at Olive Garden.
Olive Garden?
I was trash. I think I was 19. I was horrible.
Do you remember? Do you have any bad experiences?
I was dropping off drinks to a table, and I had my drink tray with a few drinks on it. And that was before I learned that when I take one off, that weight that was there is now gone. So I took off my first drink from the tray, and the other two just came. They spilled all over this guy.
That's funny. That actually happened to me too.
Really?
My first training shift at Applebee's actually was I wasn't on my own yet. I get there, and the guy who's training me, good guy too. He's one of my really good pals, my friend Jake. He's like, we're going to this 8 top table over here, and I'm there in this restaurant maybe about 15 minutes. They gave me my name tag. I put it on. I'm like, all right, this is feeling official, So we go to this table, and it's 8 people, and it's kind of at the corner of the restaurant. So the table's shaped like a horseshoe, right?
Okay.
So I'm standing in the middle of the table, like the pinnacle, so I can look to my left and look to my right. There's a person. He says, hey, take these 8 waters over there on this tray. So he hands me this tray of 8 waters, and I'm like, I've never held a tray before. So I'm holding it with both hands, underneath it.
How do I pass these out?
So then I kind of
go to the table and tell them to grab it.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been way better, or just set it down on the table and be have at it.
Right.
So again, I didn't understand the weight shifting thing about it, because the tray was laid out like a flower, right? It was 7 glasses around, 1 glass in the middle.
Okay.
So I went and grabbed one of the glasses, and I handed it to the guy on the right, and as I did that, all 7 of the other glasses of water spilled on the 2 people on the left.
He's the one person with water.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, I'm fired. Like, I was there like 15 minutes and that happened. And my friend Jake, he says, if you thought you were fired, he goes, if I was you, I would have just had that one glass in my hand that before I set it down, just dumped it on the other guy, the guy who was already all wet, just dumped it on him and just walk away. 'Cause that's what I would have done.
Oh my God.
I was actually telling that story not that story, but a story of my first night serving on my own. So it's 5:00, right? And they say, hey, Saturday night seems like a good night for the new guy for his first shift on his own, So it's Saturday night, and
Is that Applebee's?
Yeah, it's Applebee's. So
which Applebee's?
I was the one in Salinas when I used to work there.
Oh, okay.
He's still there, yeah. So my shift starts at 5. My person who's like my section mate, like kind of what they call like the two people would have one section.
Right, like your partner.
Yeah. So they sat 3 tables in my section at like 4:45. And then my section mate, she was like, oh, well, Alan will be here in 15 minutes. They could just wait for him.
Oh, so they sat you tables before you got there?
Yes.
So when you get in there, but
Yes.
they don't know that.
Yeah.
They think like, okay.
So I walk in, I'm like pumped up. I'm like, yeah, it's my first time. I'm really gonna do well. Try to do my best. So I walk in and then I check in with the host to see my section, and they said, hey, this is your section here. You already have 3 tables that have been waiting for you for 15 minutes. One of which is a party of 8.
Oh my God.
So I walked up to these 3 tables with a piece of paper about the size of a Post-it note. It's 2 3 tops, and then a party of 8.
That's your one paper for all 3 tables?
Yeah. I just didn't know. Like I didn't know what to do. So I walk up and we've been waiting for 15 minutes. They're kind of upset, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, And it's my first day, Should have dropped that on them. I just remember like I walk up to the party of 8. And they're like, oh, man. And it was one of those super difficult parties where they're like, we're going to all be split checks. And I'm going to be buying this guy because it's this guy's birthday. So this girl's buying him a drink. And like his first round is going to be on me, blah, blah. So I'm like trying to write everything down. I have this like little Post-it note size paper. And I'm like writing things upside down, sideways, like trying to remember everything.
He's paying for his buddy across.
Blue hat is paying for a red shirt. So I walk into the computer. Over to the computer. And like when you start working in a new place, learning the computers are already like kind of half the battle. Right. So I walk up to the computer and I'm like trying to input this gigantic order. Meanwhile, getting sat another 2 tables. I remember this so specifically because the guy whose birthday it was, he ordered a 3-cheese chicken penne, but he said he wanted no tomatoes, right? Uh-huh. It was Saturday night, so it was already really busy. And I forgot to put no tomatoes. So everybody's food comes, and his food is like the last of the food to come, right? Everybody's waiting on him to eat. They're waiting like 10 minutes for this last plate for the guy whose birthday it is.
Oh, because they're not eating their food yet.
They're not eating the rest of the other people aren't eating their food yet.
Right.
So the plate finally drops, and it has tomatoes on it. Can't you just pick them off? Like, that was my dumb server young mind. I was like, can't you just pick them off? He's like, oh, dude, I'm actually allergic to tomatoes. So I have to like redo it. And now he's like really upset.
Right.
This is the guy's birthday it is. He's super upset. And like the rest of his party, they're starting to eat, and they're like trying to offer him some of their food. Like, it's okay, don't be upset.
Right.
No. And he's like, she's super upset, right? And so finally, like, his food comes to him, and everybody else is done eating, and like it was like this whole thing. I'm like thinking to myself, man, my shift just started, and this happened, and now I got to go sing happy birthday to this guy. The whole song and dance and give him a dessert,
Dude, it was this buddy that I work with that it was just his birthday the other day. At the end of the night, everyone's singing him happy birthday. And afterwards, he comes up to me and he goes, is there anything more awkward than people singing you happy birthday? He's like, I'm just looking around like, this is the worst. He's like, they need to make that shit way shorter. Happy birthday to you. And that's it.
I actually really despise that too. Like, especially like when there's a lot of people. And like, or like you go to a place that you work at, and these are like your friends, and that they're being facetious about it. As waiters, like we don't like to do things like the whole like, to do the whole song and dance. That's why
you sing at the table.
We used to do this whole thing. We would like turn off the music and like turn down the lights, and we're like, hey everybody, we have a birthday in the house tonight, yay! Like we'd all clap. Can everybody here help me sing Louis a very happy birthday?
I'm just sitting there like, this fucking sucks. This is the worst ever.
I legit might have quit that night. I was like, my shift started this way. I'm an hour into my shift, into my service.
Right.
And I still have 6 hours to go. You know, because Applebee's didn't close till 2. And I remember my manager at the time, this guy named Travis. He's super, super cool guy. And he's like, hey, most people cry on their first shifts. So if you want to cry, we'll totally understand.
Did you cry?
A little. I was like... He said...
How old are you?
I was like 21, I think. Because you got to think, like... Because
You're crying in the Applebee's bathroom?
No, I was actually in the meat. I went to the meat freezer and I was screaming at the tri-tip.
Your tears are just freezing down your face.
Just peel them off my face and just stab myself with it. I was so upset.
Applebee's broke me.
I said I might have quit that night if it wasn't for Travis. He's like, hey, it's okay because I got this, and he pulled up his little like manager card. He's like, hey, just give them a couple discounts. They'll be totally fine. Just carry on with your service and have a good shift. And he said, if you want to cry, more power to you. We'll all support you. We'll pat you on the back. You know, like I was like, cool, man. Thank you. You've been Applebee's, yeah?
Yeah, my first serving job, which was Olive Garden, was right next to Applebee's. So that was like the spot after work.
Yeah.
And I was like 19 too. So we would all go there. And if you were wearing an Olive Garden uniform, it was fair game. You were drinking.
Oh, for sure.
So
that was like that too.
Yeah, yeah.
What is like the thing that you think of when you think about Applebee's? Like, what's like the famous thing?
About Applebee's?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was when like I had like my first like rainbow shots at Applebee's, which is poop. It's like
Yeah, those are terrible.
10
'Cause
colors.
The last shot is just
It's
grenadine.
all cherry juice.
It's just all
You're not
grenadine.
getting any booze. I never experienced it either, but they were like doing the promos for like the $1 margaritas, which
Oh,
I've
bro.
heard like the recipe.
Yeah. The recipe is like, I'm not even kidding. Okay, so it's liqueur that's like mysteriously labeled as margarita liqueur. So you use like 3 bottles of that. You take 2 of the powders. There's like these like powders, like a mix, like almost like a dried Gatorade mix or like dry Tang. And you put that in there. It's like a lime.
My God.
And then you fill up with like 5 gallons of water. And
No way.
yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That
So-
is so trash. Did you ever make the mix?
No, it was like I said, it was powder. I mean, I made it. You prep it, you know, when you're working there, when you're bartending.
Because you have this margarita liqueur, but are you ever, when you're making this, okay, I'm grabbing the bottle of tequila?
No, it's tequila and triple in the same bottle.
Oh, that's poop.
I know. Now, why do you think they were only $1?
Right. I mean, it's hard to complain.
Yeah. You have to think about 8 of them to even get like 2 ounces of tequila.
Oh, man.
So when I worked there, the big thing was the 2 for $20, right? Get like an
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, appetizer, 2 entrees, $20, right? So it's hard to make money there because it's like 2 for $20. Both get $1 margaritas. Their check is $25.
Yeah, it's hard to tip.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
$20 when your bill's $25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd be like super thrilled if I got like anything over $5. I'm like, oh, $5 tip. Gee, Willie. Amazing. I'd be so like over the moon about that.
Right.
So the day that I left Applebee's, I was working at another place making crazy amounts of money, just dummy money, right? Because you're going from Applebee's to fine dining.
Right.
So I was only working mornings at Applebee's, and I told my manager, I was like, hey man, you know, like I really appreciate everything, blah blah, but you know, I'm just not making any money here, blah blah, you know, and he said, you know, I'm just making a lot more money at this other place. You
Right.
know? I told him, I was like, I made $170 on a Monday night, and I worked for 4 hours. I'd have to work for 3 days at Applebee's to make that.
I was going to say, what's the most you've walked away with at Applebee's?
I think the most I ever walked away with was on Veterans Day. Was I made like $140, and the reason why is because they gave free food on Veterans Day. So it was just
okay.
like people were just being generous. Like, oh, here's money because I
Right,
didn't pay
right.
anything.
Right.
You know, but even still, it was like $140, a full 8-hour shift, and
Right.
you know, turned 35 tables. You know what I mean? That was terrible. But like I said, I told my manager, you know, I'm just not making any money here, blah blah. And he's like, you know, oh, well, what if what if you switch over to night shifts? It's like, dude, I just made $170. I just told you I made $170. How you going to expect me to switch over to night shift? And then I told him, you know how much money I made today? I said, for lunch shift today, I made $3. And one of those dollars I found under the table while I was sleeping the floor. And that's a true story that really happened.
Before you found that, your earnings were $2.
Yeah.
You found half of what you made just
Yes.
on the floor.
Literally a 50% increase in revenue for me.
He's, oh boy.
And the terrible part about it it was like a gross, like crinkly dollar. Like it was like so gross, but I had like no shame in picking it up. This old like dusty dollar.
$3 a day. It's hard to get some of the night shift.
I know. You tell me, I said, you want me to work night shifts, leave this $170 on a Monday, bro, for 4 hours? You kidding me?
Oh man, yeah, I never broke over 100 at Olive Garden.
Didn't they? Is it true? I never worked at Olive Garden. Is it true that you guys only can take 3 tables at a time?
Yeah, we have 3 table sections.
Like some of the people that I worked with at Applebee's, like, because you have a lot of inter-restaurant, like people like,
right.
Used to work at Red Lobster, now I work over here, blah, blah.
Right.
So people who came from Olive Garden, I remember like one girl had said that, like they only let you take 3 tables.
Yeah, it's 3, but it's like, at the time, it's probably like you'd still be busy right now, but when I was working there, yeah, 3 tables, but everything's endless.
Yeah.
So you have these 3 tables that are constantly ordering new stuff because they have freaking endless soup and salad, never-ending pasta, and all that stupid stuff. I had this one table that was ordering never-ending pasta. They would get their dish, put it in a box, set it to the side, order their next pasta, and they were like 5 to-go pastas like deep. What? And I'm like, can they keep doing this? And they're like,
is this allowed?
And yeah. So like you stay busy, but yeah, it's 3 tables. They wanted us to give out wine samples. Like every table, approach them with the bottle, offer a sample to everybody, because in hopes that they buy a glass of wine or the bottle. And the wine samples we just grabbed ourselves because they have like cases of open bottles of wine throughout the restaurant. You just go and pour the sample, but you'd still ring it in every time you poured one. So, I gave a sample, 3 samples to this table. Let me ring them in. There's $0, but they come up. So on your server checkout, it's like, oh, Louis gave out 20 samples today.
He's killing it.
Yeah. So what we would do before clock out, we would just open like our last table that was open. We'd just click that shit like 20 times. And they'd be like,
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Like, oh, Louis sent his numbers every night. I was like, I didn't give out
the MVP.
One, just click.
You're just back there drinking all the wine samples yourself.
Exactly. Oh, dude. But yeah. Okay. I don't want to expose too much, but
but I can neither confirm nor deny that I know exactly what every single wine at Olive Garden tastes like.
No, exactly. I remember I tied my apron around my waist, and then like the knot fucked up to where it was like sagging off my waist, but it was like still on, but it was like awkward. But I couldn't untie the knot that I made because like I nervously just tied that shit like crazy, and I couldn't untie it. And I was telling my trainer like, I need you to untie this for me, and she was trying to, and she's like, you can't, you gotta fix that shit.
Use your teeth.
She's like, you gotta fix that shit in the bathroom. And I was already like, I had 2 tables, so I was really in it, you know what I mean? And I was in the bathroom trying to untie this, and I was like, fucking Louis, get your shit together. And like, it's a fucking mess, dude. I was like,
slapping yourself, hyping yourself up.
all because of this fucking apron.
Damn it, Louis. Do this every time.
Oh, man. Took it so serious.
I don't like Olive Garden. Olive Garden's terrible.
I remember the first time I dined there, dude, I was like, I gotta get my fucking slacks on and my this and that. And I'm like, this place, it's not
when you're here, your family, bro. What do you mean? You know, slacks.
Name tags. I fucking, Jesus.
I'm not a big fan of the server voice. You know what I'm talking about? Hi. Right. How are you? Are you enjoying your salad? I'm not a fan of that.
Man.
I even tell people when I train them, I was like, don't do a server voice.
No, I keep the same.
Like, keep it real, bro. Real recognize real.
Although I am notorious for going up to people. I love going up to my coworkers when they have their back turned to me and like acting like I'm somebody else.
Yeah, you did that to me a couple times.
Oh, dude, it's the best. I'll walk up and I'm like, where's the restroom?
Excuse me.
They turn around. Oh, it's right around. Oh, fuck. Just me standing there.
Excuse me, where's the restroom?
Excuse me.
It's like Michael Jackson. Excuse me. I need to take a pee.
Oh, man, so funny. Although, that was the only gig. It was a bigger restaurant. They actually had somebody whose job was to give breaks.
Mm-hmm. Like we have that at Applebee's,
which is nice. That shift would rotate, and so you would either they'd be like, "Cool, you know, I'm giving breaks today. I'll knock out my 6 breaks, 5 breaks, whatever, and I'm either gone early, or if I want to stay and make some bread, I'll send someone home and I'll take their spot."
Yeah.
So that was cool, rather than like other places I've worked at where you can just be slammed and have no time for a break, and it's like, damn, you know, like.
What I hated about those breaking tables at Applebee's, the breaking shifts, is that like, the person would come in at like 8:30, right? They come in, cycle their breaks. But if you were the breaker and you cashed out any tables, you get to keep the tip, right?
Oh, you could?
Yeah, that's what it was like.
Ours was if you're breaking, you're not getting no tips. Like, which kind of makes sense to me. Like, if I'm getting a 30, I'm not like just giving you the cash I would potentially be making.
Here's the part that I hated, was there were some people that I worked with, when they were breaking me, they would like cash out all my tables and transfer me back no tables, but they'd be done and cashed out, but they'd still be in my section.
Yeah.
So like there's one particular person, she would come in, I'd have 5 tables, I'd shoot her my tables, they wouldn't even be done eating, bro. But she would do like the whole, like she was really good at it too.
Like, I gotta get you closed out?
Yeah, what about, this and that. And she would close out every one of my tables. And then what sucky part was, like I said, some of them didn't even have their food on the table yet, bro.
Oh my God.
They didn't have the food on the table yet. She'd do that. And then now I still have to take care of them, but I'm getting nothing from it. Oh my God. They're in my section, and I won't turn those tables for another 30 minutes.
Oh my God. I was working at this hotel back home, and they would have a really busy breakfast. Super busy. And this one guy, it's like you would open the restaurant and work breakfast solo for like an hour and a half up until your rest of the staff came, because the idea was like, you're not busy right away.
Yeah.
But this particular morning he was, like, from the jump. So for an hour and a half he's just eating it. And then by the time people start coming, he's kind of trying to do the same thing. The staff's arriving, so he's dropping checks. Trying to keep all that. Dropping checks. Wasn't even looking. He's just dropping checks. This one dude hadn't even got his orange juice. He just sat down, got a check for the buffet that he hadn't even had anything.
That's hilarious.
Oh, so funny.
If you had more people joining him, you wouldn't have known.
No. Oh, man, so funny.
One of the worst places I've ever worked was at, did I ever tell you about that? It was like a new restaurant that had just opened up, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay, so this was in Salinas, right? Brand new restaurant opened up. This woman, she'd been a waitress all her life, totally like a Dolores type woman,
right.
Older woman, like she'd been in the restaurant industry, so she could walk, she opened up a restaurant, and it was terrible.
Dolores opened up a restaurant.
Yeah, Dolores had opened up. I don't remember her real name, but you know the type of
right.
Like a Gladys type, She opened up a restaurant, and she had asked me to come and help to kind of open it up, I was like, okay, cool, I'll help out, and I was like, hey, like, should we like have like a meeting or something first, like with all the staff, like to go over the menu, like the procedures, the table numbers? And she's like, oh no, like no, opening day will be the first day everybody's working. Oh, I don't even know what's on your menu yet. She's like, oh well, we're still finalizing the menu. I'll give you a copy of it.
This is her grand opening, not a soft opening. Not like
a grand opening of like the
public.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, and this is the worst part. Myself and herself are the only actual waiters like in the profession, right?
Right.
The other staff are her friends that have never worked in restaurants before. And their training, I quote, this is exactly how she trained them. She said, well, you've been to a restaurant, right? And they say, yeah. Well, it's just like that, but imagine you're the one who's taking the order, not having your order taken.
That is you can... Oh my God.
First of all,
I've also been to the bank to cash my check, but I can't just imagine I'm a bank teller and show up on day one.
I put a Band-Aid on myself, but I want to call myself a doctor. Oh, I thought she was joking. I was like, oh, okay. So we show up. It was a shit show. It's a grand opening. It's a new place, and it was like a really good location.
Oh, man.
And we got killed. Like, killed. The reason why is because the other girls, they're older women too. They were like, her friends and her husband's friend, friends' wives, and things like that, And they didn't know what to do. Like, they were writing the orders down, sure. And the menu wasn't even that complicated. They were writing the orders down, but they weren't doing like running side work. They weren't like stocking plates. They weren't, like things that make a restaurant successful. Like if you're an experienced server, you just kind of know to do.
Right.
So like I was trying to do it all, but I was like, why am I doing all this? Like, this ain't my restaurant. Like I was asked to be there by my boss that I currently worked for. That was like her friend. I would just kind of like helping and overseeing things.
Right.
And then it turned into, hey, can you take all these tables? Because these people don't know how. They can only have like 1 or 2 tables.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it was terrible. And that restaurant closed like within 2 months.
Really?
It's not even surprising.
Wow. That's nuts. But dude, a shitty game plan. Good grief. Yeah, my worst job, I was working at a carpet cleaning company. And I sucked.
Carpet cleaning? Like
carpet cleaning.
Like
it was like they would go to your house and clean your house.
Okay.
Clean hotels, and yeah, dude, it was horrible. I got fired from there.
How'd you do that?
I was driving their carpet cleaning truck, their big truck, and I was pulling up to a client's house, and
Ran over their dog.
no, I backed up into their mailbox. It was like a big, nice brick mailbox, and I was trying to parallel park, but they had like a big step on the back of the truck,
Yeah.
and yeah, messed their mailbox up, and
And they get no more mail for the next 3 days.
I was with I was with like my like supervisor carpet cleaning guy, and he called the boss and told him, and they were like, all right, we'll be out there to go look at it, just finish the job,
Yeah.
do the client's house. So yeah, I finished on my work day, and then when I got back to the job, they had my check. And
Dang.
that was a wrap.
Not even like a, hey, we're going to sit down and talk to you. We're just like, here you go.
That was a wrap.
We'll never see you again.
Yep, that was it. And I was like, damn, that was the only job I ever been fired from. But fuck, dude, I had no passion.
It's carpet cleaning, bro. You're not super, I imagine you weren't super broken up about it.
No. So yeah, I went to a staffing agency, and they got me a gig. I like approached them too. I was like, hey, I want to find somewhere I can work close by for like 11 an hour. And they're like, well, we have this place that's 13 an hour. And I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Why am I not already in the truck?
Yeah, so I did that for 6 months, and then that too was like my last day. I didn't even know until I clocked out. And they were like, well, this is it. This is
I know.
how long we need you. And I was
Which staffing agent did you go through?
I forget, dude, but the job itself was at a warehouse, and they would make bread.
Did you work at, was it Golasso?
I don't mean they made a lot of money. They made like
I know.
hot
Was
dog
it?
buns.
Did you work at Golasso?
No, it was I forget the name, dude. It was a pretty like you can see their bread at like Stater Brothers and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forget. But I wasn't even like on the line. I was like somebody's like secretary pretty much. I was
Yeah.
like filing folders and paperwork for them and stuff.
You were nowhere near the bread. They could have been making, dildos for all you could, for all you knew.
Yeah,
That's probably what they were making, but they just told you it's bread just
dude,
to
it
not
was
like
such
make you leave.
Man, how old was I, dude? I was like, I must have been 20 or something. And yeah, it was horrible. Literally, like, my task was like they had like the engineers for like all the the machines that like the dough runs through and everything,
Yeah.
and they have like their little work shed with all the tools and toolboxes and all their screws and their nuts. They get all
Yeah.
mixed up out of place. My job was to go in and organize their mess.
Just do the scut work essentially.
Pretty much find all the nuts and bolts and put them in the right place and this and that, and I'll just that.
That's not a job for somebody. I just feel like if you could eliminate that job completely, if the workers are just more responsible,
Right,
Like,
right.
they're just
Yeah.
like a little better organized.
I'm surprised I was there 6 months because I was just milking that shit. Like it was like I was getting paid to do nothing. That was the most I've been paid for,
So I actually worked at a warehouse as well. I was like they did hotel supplies like towels.
Oh, okay.
Pillows,
fucking little
soaps.
lavender
Yeah,
lotions.
exactly. Soaps,
God.
lotions, things like that, right? So I worked there, and my cousin was like the supervisor on the floor there, type thing. So like I worked under him, but it was a night shift, right? So I was like pretty productive, like I was doing what I could offloading trucks, and the hours were like it was like 9 o'clock at night till 5:30 in the morning. So it was literally
Damn.
9 to 5, but
You're right.
opposite way.
Flip, yeah.
So my friend got hired there too, like one of my best friends, and it was like all bad when he got hired there because we were just dicking off. When he got hired there, we just started dicking off. Like
Right.
I stopped being productive, and I was barely even productive to start with.
Right.
But so this warehouse is huge, right? Big warehouse, right? Like I would say it's about 3 times the size of a Costco. It's huge, right?
Damn.
So we had to like use these machines, like the forklifts, to like travel around.
They would haul ass too.
If you walked from one end to the other, like where we were at the shipping dock to like the break room, it was like it would take you like 15 minutes just to walk there, right?
Right.
So we had these little machines. So me and my friend, they paired us together, because we were temps. We were just like we were hired to like a staffing agency,
Right.
And we would like do things. This is late at night, We would do things like we play hide and seek in the warehouse, but like we ourselves weren't hiding. It'd be like we have this tiny red box. It was like the only one that was like it. We don't know where it came from, but it was like a tiny little red box. And so the idea was hide it somewhere in the warehouse. Like I'll start working on the truck.
Right.
He'll go hide it, and then he'll come back, and then he'll start doing the truck, and then I'll leave and go try to find it. And we kept doing that like back and forth. And
Did you find it?
oh yeah, well we would do that like a couple times a night, but it was little things like that. We were
Right.
just super unproductive, And my cousin, because he was like the supervisor, he didn't want us to get in trouble because, like that was his cousin. So he would make all the other guys like finish all of our work. Oh my God, bro. They hated us.
Oh, man.
We used to say that was like this other guy too. We used to say he was like the temp supervisor because he was also a temp, but he was like, you could tell that he was like really trying to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Like elected himself team captain.
Yeah. Like, so we kept saying, oh yeah, he's the temp supervisor. That's what we kept calling him, this to troll him. And there was one time where like he had knocked over a bunch of stuff, but it like made this big loud crashing sound. And me and my buddy were like, it was him. He did it. He was the one, because he used to like tattle on people. Like if some of us didn't put things away correctly, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, they were the last guys who did it."
Oh,
and so
man, what a weenie.
I know, dude. Seriously,
What a weenie.
the guy's name was Forrest. I mean, do you expect anything less? So he knocked over this big stack of pallets. Literally nothing on them, just a stack of pallets.
Right.
He did it. It was him. It was the temp supervisor. He did it.
You can try hard.
I don't even know if he ever got hired. If he ever got hired over there.
Yeah, they ended up offering me like a overnight something at dock, whatever, but I wasn't for it.
Yeah,
no.
Anytime I'd ever worked at a warehouse or anything like that, I like always tried really hard, except for that one. I always tried really hard, but I don't know, I just never got I never got offered a position.
Right.
And it was like a lot of temp work. But I'm gonna say, like, I'm kind of happy that I didn't, because then I started working in restaurants, and then it turns out I'm like pretty solid at work, pretty solid doing that.
What happened after? Yeah, it was Olive Garden, and then I worked at the carpet cleaning place.
Yeah.
And then I got the staffing agency job, and then I went to serve at a DoubleTree hotel, where I started bartending there.
Yeah.
And then from there, I actually came to Slow.
Oh, okay. Dang. So you were there. Well, how long were you there at the DoubleTree for?
Like 4.5 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, that's a long time.
Yeah, and I was like bartending there, but I mean, it was a DoubleTree hotel. It wasn't like, you know what I mean. I like plateaued at like what I was learning. Like,
was it like beer and wine only, or is it?
No, they had cocktails. It was,
okay.
It was like a full liquor.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I learned as much as I could there, and then I went to Slow. Learned a lot.
And you met me, and then now you're here.
Yep.
In my hot ass guest room. I only don't have the fan in here because in the microphones pick up.
Pick it up. Yeah.
It's like picks it up real bad. It's gonna suck. Like if we record in the summer months, I'm gonna try to maybe get like a little ice packs or something. Yeah, I wanted to record more right after we did our first one, but that's when I got COVID.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I got COVID, and then, which actually wasn't bad. I had like a pretty mild case, but I still had like lockdown. We had actually had plans to record that day.
Dude, you could have just did like COVID episodes like every day, like what it's like.
Stayed home from work again. Feel good. Took a Tylenol. No, honestly, I was kind of scared because like the guy who gave it to me was like really, really sick.
Right.
And I kept thinking like, am I gonna get to that point? And it's just never happened. It was kind of crummy because like I had like one bad day. I had like a real bad headache, but like I said, I just took a Tylenol.
Right.
And I was like, it just put on my snow gear, and I just kind of sweated it out. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it's been super busy, dude, remodeling the house.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. In the last episode, we were still working together.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in this episode.
Yeah. I left Hotel Slow. Now we're at Taste. I was gonna swing both of them, but yeah, dude, Taste is like 4 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
So I was like,
your house is like 3 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
And hey, we carpooled though a couple times.
Yeah. No, Slow is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. If like Hotel Slow was around the corner,
yeah,
I'd probably be doing both. Or yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I gotta get a Hotel Paso. That'd be pretty sweet.
I know, right?
I got promoted over there at the hotel, and then I left my morning job at the Mediterranean place I was working at. So I said, so now I'm strictly just at the one job. After the promotion, I have a lot more time to do things like this, record, podcast. I'm gonna be making more YouTube videos pretty soon.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. So people, like anybody who's listening to this who used to like sub to my YouTube page, I promise more videos are coming. Hold tight and hold fast. Yeah, but for now it's just potting, YouTubing, and trying to be all I can be.
Oh yeah.
Leave a creative legacy.
Oh yeah. Damn, dude, I gotta run out on this one.
I know, that was I was trying to close out the.
No, I was gonna say, is there isn't it like you do your editing? Like, is there any way you can like at a certain point when we just pick back up, you can just like merge the two, or?
Oh no, we've been recording for 42 minutes. This will be an episode.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh word.
Yeah, it'll be short, but it'll be something.
It's a nice reintroduction back into
it.
Just
fucking
another little test run, dude. I was like, I felt like this was day one again for me.
No.
Well, I've only had one day. So
Yeah. Technically it was day 2.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot better than your day 1 at Olive Garden. You didn't drop
God.
you didn't drop anything on me.
So trash. Oh, man.
Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that'll just about do it here for another episode of Talking on the Tracks. Thank you so much for joining us. You'll be hearing from us soon, because now that I got mornings off, Sweet Lou's kind of got a little bit more of open availability now that his house is getting a little bit more
Yeah,
finished.
we're getting there, man. We have floors now. I don't know if last time we're living on bare concrete.
Yeah. I don't think you said that last time, but
Oh, yeah, I don't want to admit it, brother.
I'm happy. I'm happy for your back and your feet.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, so once again, I've been your host today, Big Al, here today with my co-host. You got to get better at that. You got to get better at that. You forget your name?
It's hard to like plug myself. Like
You just
like
said 2 words.
big boy.
Hey, big boy in the morning.
Love fucking cowbell. Hello.
Power 1059, everybody.
I don't know if anyone here is gonna know what that is, but
I doubt it, but the people who do, they're gonna appreciate it. It's big boy in the morning. We got Tito's Top 4 full coming up.
got your phone tap coming.
Your phone tap, bruh.
This is Art LeBeau's dedications.
Art LeBeau Sunday special dedicated to you with those killer oldies.
Oh, like, always and forever, baby. She's 18 with a bullet.
He says, "I'm your puppet, and I'll be here for you. Wait for me till I get out, baby." He blows a big kiss.
Always and
Okay, we'll try that again. Oh, so when I say here today with my co-host,
like off-air discipline. When I fucking pass it to you.
it's gonna be like a Pavlovian response, like Jim with the mints that he did to Dwight. But when you hear the words "here today with my co-host," you say your name.
Okay.
Damn it, Louis. So I am your host, Big Al, here today with my co-host,
Louis.
Sure, we'll run with it.